Hi, this is Laura, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to tell you the story of Sahnli. She's a little girl that's a distant relative of one of our staff members at Brianna's House of Joy in Thailand, and she's from Burma, and she's a little girl. She's 3 years old, and we just found out about her a few months ago, and she was born with an extended tailbone, which has caused her parents to reject her, and she's now being taken care of by a distant relative who's an auntie, and we have our foundation has said that we would help with the cost of her surgery. We weren't sure if she was going to actually be able to get it done or not. And she came down a week and a half ago and spent the day at the hospital in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. She came down from Burma, and it turns out that the doctors have said that they can do the surgery, which will take place in July. She has a checkup, and then August will be when the actual surgery takes place. And I just wanted to tell really quickly what it was like meeting her. It was a pretty one of those moments where Matt and I got into a situation and thought, we are such idiots, because we had envisioned when we said we'd go and meet her and pray with her at the hospital. We had envisioned like a hospital like in our minds back in the States, or even like the expat hospitals that we'd been in Thailand. So we brought all the kids, and the kids had little presents for Sahnli, and we were all excited, and everybody dressed up, and we get in the van to go with our friend, and it's actually a government hospital, and we start walking through all these corridors and all these mazes. And Matt and I look at each other and we're like, holy cow, this was not wise to bring our kids, because it's just a lot, people aren't behind closed doors that are terribly sick, or that have just gotten out of surgery, or that have just gotten out of a motorcycle accident. So it was pretty rough. So we were just praying that the Lord would just sort of, protect the eyes of our kids. And we got up there, and it was just this precious little moment of meeting Sahnli and her auntie, and she had another relative with her. And then they said, would you like to come back and see her room? And so we said, sure, again, not really knowing what we were getting into. And y'all, we go into this room that is the size of my kitchen back home, and it probably has 16 beds in it, small cots, which you'll see on the video that Matt did. And it's these kids are just crammed in there, and all of them have major deformities. Two of the children didn't look real, like they had really big heads, which sounds weird. I mean, they almost looked cartoonish. There were kids that were hooked up, there were kids that were crying, and there were all these parents that you could just tell were just kind of in shell shock. And apparently the hospital let them sleep if they slept underneath that crib. So the parents or the relatives from Burma, from wherever, would come to the hospital, and they sleep on the floor underneath their child's cot in that room. Apparently a lot of them are from Burma, and if you know anything about what's going on in Myanmar right now, there's a military regime that is committing huge human rights violations in Myanmar against certain people groups. And apparently the bombs that have gone off in that country have poisoned the soil, and so a lot of children will eat the vegetables that come from the soil, and it creates a lot of deformities. We don't know if that's what happened to these children in this particular hospital room, but it was just a wild experience to walk into that room. And of course everyone's staring at us, and we have our three healthy, rich American kids in there, and my daughter didn't even go in. It was too much for her. And we briefly took a video with Sahnli, just because the staff member we were with said, here, take a video. So we took this quick video, and but it was just really, really heartbreaking, and just a really good picture of what it's like to not have the income. Apparently several of those families that have been there for one family in particular had been there for a month, and they didn't have anybody who could pay for the surgery. They were from Burma, and it was one of the parents of the children with the big head, and the doctor said they couldn't help them. And so it's heartbreaking when you look at all of that, but while I don't know how to fix all those other 16 kids in there, I do know about Sahnli, and I know she can have surgery. And so we're asking that we could raise the funds for her surgery in August, to remove her extended tailbone, to give her back sort of a life and take away the shame of what that has done to her so far. She's a little Burmese girl. She's precious. And you can watch the video of Matt, and I'll put some info if you're interested in giving. Thanks.